knowledge, right? And again, I've seen more Kurds. When you got this EROS, right? It's a Greek mythology. The love, the Greek god of love, right? We know how the love is basically the code for that trans program, right? With this, you got this EROS, statue of EROS in London. You see the life energy. It's again, right now, these philosophers talked about it. That's another thing what they use for the trans program, love, right? Son of chaos. How do they order out of chaos thing, right? And there's a statue of this EROS in London. And the Roman, they call it Cupid, right? Which is the cup, the drinking cup, right? Like a cup of tea. Or the drinking vessel, which is obviously famous in all the Christian literature and all this. The cup, like a loving cup, like that thing with Freaks, Todd Browning's Freaks, a loving cup. And there's a lot of Kurd in this EROS, right? But there, you've got the statue of it in London, like Piccadilly Circus or something, right? So this is trans program right in the heart of that London. Oh yeah, you see how the EROS become who is here. So you know how you just turn the R upside down, and the J upside down to become R, right? So that become like Ruas, right? Ruas, right? Or who is here, and who is here become Joseph. Joseph, which again is one of the most famous biblical characters, right? Again, you see how the Joseph become high official in the court of the Egyptian Empire. And the Pharaoh was to do with the Exodus, so it's to get its link to Moses and all that. Departure from Egypt is the founding myth of the Israelites. So the idea of the multiculturalism and the going abroad and all this. Again, it's basically, the coding in the trans system relates like directly to the, like the multiculturalism, they're both the same, like the WHO, World Health Organization of Moses, and the Joseph, and the trans program EROS, obviously, that brings forward the Ruas idea, the Ruas. Of course, that's become more the Ruses, which was they were civil wars, supposedly, 1455 fought over control of the English throne, Again, I would have to, arrive at a conclusion that this is fake. This is Hex. House of Lancaster and York. Of course, you have York Rites Masonry. And all the Roses, becomes basically like the religious war, the spiritual war, the war between the sort of spiritual man, the eunuch, and the non-spiritual man, the bestial man, is the one with a sexual nature and all this, which is the natural person. And then you have the trans, the eunuch become the trans. So this is basically creating an idea of a spiritual war, spiritual war in heaven idea, like the biblical stuff, the Archangel Michael and all this idea of it. War of the Roses. Again, it's just not feasible that at this time, you had British people separating into two groups, right? One was monarchist, right? One was supposed to be monarchist and one was supposed to be parliamentarian, right? And these were supposed to be at war with each other because of that. No, that to me just doesn't ring true, because if you're talking about London-based stuff, right, like Parliament and monarchy, right, why would the rest of the country choose to side with monarchy or Parliament, right? As we know, the Masons will be the monarchists, right? But who would side with the Parliament, because as we know, what Parliament, a bunch of crooks, a bunch of assholes. Who would side with the Parliament people, So it's got to be fake, right? More fake history, Again, pre-1700 or whatever, right? Pre-1700. And again, this is an important aspect of that. Red and white. It's the red colours and the white colours. Red is again like the cross, the blood, right? And in fact, the core of this, the War of the Roses, basically becomes War of the Jesus, right? It becomes Jesus. So as you see there with your Egyptian, your Egyptian pyramid idea, right? Jesus become the Red Cross, right? Now that's what you're talking about with the houses of the supposed civil war thing in England, right? Red and white. Again, the red and white idea, right, which is the Jesus red blood cross. Right? And the white is symbolising, basically, as far as I'm concerned, it symbolises the people. The white people, because you have the white horse of Kent, right? You have the white horse of Kent, which is used in a similar way. So basically that War of the Roses thing, it becomes the War of the Jesus, right? This becomes roses, right? Again, you just turn the J upside down. And as we know, vowels are interchangeable, right? So basically a U becoming a manure. You get roses, right? Roses. So that's got to be fake as, right? When they're talking about a civil war, they're talking about a civil war and covering with a preferring idea of warfare, people killing each other and setting up battles in fields and all this idea, right? That's the preferring cover, that's the fakeness, right? Right, and I've seen this film, quite a while, a couple of years ago or something. This is basically what tuned us on to the idea of this civil war was basically hoax, right? Because it was this particular film what I just seen a bit on the TV. 2013 it is, and shot in black and white, and it's supposed to be about the mid-century English Civil War, right? Released on 5th of July for the 777 code, and got a Michael in, the field idea, the Cain and Abel and all this. And it's this is the cover up, is this idea about this Jacob type idea, This is gotta be a Jewish production again, But this is the cover up, is the idea of open warfare, right? Where peoples are killing each other in fields and blowing each other up, you know what I mean? And all that. And as we know, this stuff's the hex, Yeah, the realities is like a spiritual warfare idea, right? So basically, right, that become the same idea, right? Yeah. Instead of the field, it's a park, right? Instead of, the rivers, it's the same thing. The rivers are parks, and this is like the civil war, the true civil war. It's like this type of thing. It's to do with civil rights and all this. And this thing was trans, Yeah. The civil rights movement, and of course you get plenty. You get a couple of 777 codes out of that, 7 and 5 and 3-7. This thing was trans. So this is the proper civil war, this is the civil war. So when they're putting in ideas about civil wars, it's about, increasing that trans, what do you call it, program, and you got 42 for 6. And 70%, Rosa Parks, civil rights. So this is the spiritual idea, right? Like the eunuch is the spiritual person, and the natural person with the bestial nature, right, is not the spiritual person. So it's all the same codes what they use. EROS, that's EROS again, right? And spark idea, spark to ignite the flame type of idea, right? To get things going or something, You have like your Rosicrucianism again, Jesus cross. It's to do with Jesus cross. And you have a bit of Cain as well. You have the Cain. You've got all that type of ideas in that. Rosy cross or red cross. And there's the same thing that's from the house of Lancaster or York or whatever. Them roses, war the roses. So again, it's fake as that civil war thing. Again, you see in five points, just like the pentagram or something, right? One in the middle, not making the 6. And then not making the 7. So it's always like that type of thing, right? Founded in 1915. Niggas, see this stuff's a lot newer than what they make on it, The Great Pyramids of Giza, you know what I mean? You're talking about them pyramids of Giza are only made about 1700, 1800. Of course, that's like, a fake type of metaphor thing, like the Hiram Abiff or something. Small group of Masons, of course. Here's a funny little thing about the crucified soldier, right? You look at the codes in the soldier, you got the sun, right? The sun, and the dia, the dia. Like the dia, right? And here's this thing about the crucified soldier. So again, this is tying in another hex idea, right? Around 24th of April, on the 15 hex. So plenty of hex around. So so you see how this, the sort of spiritual war, right, directly ties in with the hexes that they about like physical war, warfare. It's the sacred nature and the profane nature, right?